Well, folks, they call it the slap heard around the world when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the awards program. Rodney and I are going to take a look at that little incident, as well as other things like cheating, and maybe we're just too cheap to cheat. And how could you cheat on Beyonce? Well, we'll take a look at that, and we hope you enjoy it. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School. So, what do you think about the Will Smith Chris Rock situation, Rodney?
Man, I, 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 I'll say both of them. I say 75% in the wrong was Will Smith and maybe 25 for Rock. Rock is a comedian. You know when he comes to that show that he gonna be blasting on people, but he
Right.
has a history of blasting on her. But my thing about Will being so damn fake is you gonna sit there and laugh at the joke until she looked at you, and now you're gonna try to run up there and do that. That was horrible. If you was a man about it, you'd have waited till after the show and let him know. You know, we should have let him know after the first time because he rocked on him one time before. But I think Will has gotten to the point where he think he's got so much exception that he can do whatever. And ain't nobody gonna turn against him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. If you want to slap somebody, slap them dysfunctional ass kids of yours. You know.
Well, the thing that I was saying was he seemed to got so upset with the fact that he, was talking about, her hair situation.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, now both of y'all have been on that, what's the show called Red Tabletop or whatever it is, talking about she had an affair and you say you didn't know about it and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
I said, now, if he had came out and said something about, well, hey, Jada, who you been screwing this time kind of thing. I said, well, yeah, you might have had a little bit more of a reason. I said, even with that, that's world known. That ain't he ain't saying nothing that ain't nobody else know.
There you go.
So I just to me the reaction was well more than what I thought would even be justified. And I think it goes back to I think something we talked about before. I was telling you that I was listening to D.L. Hughley, and he was talking about that comedians almost have carte blanche to say whatever they want to because they are comedians. And I said, well, I don't sign up for that totally because I still think there are things such as slander and libel that are legal entity that you can overstep your bounds.
Right.
But I was even debating that at one point of, okay, what is off limits when it comes to comedy? And DL pretty much, believes that almost nothing is off limits when it comes to comedy. And I was thinking about that too. I'm like, well, if indeed that's the case, and Chris Rock was there for comedy relief, then yeah, why did you have to react that way? You know what comedy is about, just like you said earlier. He was hitting on other people. They make jokes about the things that probably are the most dear to you because they know that's what's going to get the most reaction from fans and probably you. So yeah, I think it was just uncalled for to start with. But I'm thinking, as much as y'all put y'all stuff out there, and especially with their kids,
man,
why would that bother you?
Exactly.
I mean, come on now, with what all your kids are doing, and the fact that for years people have said they had an open marriage, and then it comes out that she's had an affair and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, to me, that wasn't a whole lot.
No, that was easy.
Yeah.
And then he lied and said that she didn't have no entanglement. And she did. No, she got. Well, never mind. she said she had an entanglement. So how you gonna sit up there and say she didn't? I bet you didn't slap August Alsina. That young boy that whooped your behind.
Yeah, yeah. And I heard that he's releasing a new CD, and he also is talking about, I guess if he gets the right offer, he's willing to write his memoir about what all happened. Of course, he's capitalizing on the situation too. Which I mean that's smart business.
Yep. And I even read a little deal about where they said she was. Who was this? It was some other rapper. God dog, I can't think of the name, but it's been in the, especially online and all that. But he said that she was lying about her and Tupac's relationship. He said this dude said Tupac didn't give a damn about her. So they were friends, but they weren't like. She tried to make it like it was a little bit more than that.
Right.
And he said, "Nah, man, Tupac." And especially when you start thinking about some of the women Tupac had, I'm like, yeah, she'd have been low on the totem pole. Because he was supposed to be really tight, and they were talking about getting married, as I understand it. But with that Rashida Jones girl, what's his name? The producer's daughter.
Quincy?
Quincy's daughter, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're supposed to be pretty tight. And matter of fact, I saw a little deal with her where she said she was there at the hospital in Vegas when he got shot.
Mm.
So, but yeah, this dude was saying that what's her name wasn't, and I ain't trying to rag on her or nothing like that, but I know she ain't my type. I mean, because during her whole year, she's a decent looking woman. I ain't knocking her against her, but she's too skinny, man. She didn't have no curves, I mean, and who knows? But she was. I can remember in that one with Janet Jackson. Yeah, she's standing up there next to Janet Jackson. I'm like, shit, that's an easy pick.
Yeah. I know what you mean. But yeah, I think too, what he said after the slap when he was talking about, keep her name out your mouth and all that kind of stuff too. To me, that only added to the situation about what did he say that's any worse than what the two of y'all have been saying about what's going on in y'all's marriage and things.
There you go.
To me, that only added fire. If he just wouldn't sit down and said, okay, I overreacted or whatever, then I'm like, come on, you gonna say that after what all? And I've never looked at her show, that Table Talk or whatever it's called. But I've read some excerpts from some of the things.
Yeah,
and the first thing that popped in my mind was, is this one of those shows where I'm going to try to get as I don't know what the word is, as raunchy as I can to just get viewers? I mean, because some of the stuff that they were talking about on there, I'm like, why would you want to talk about that on a show like that? But it seemed like that she was trying to get the most, wow effect she could, regardless of what she had to say or what scenario she had to bring up. So I'm like, you ain't talking about, a godly lady, if you will, here that, to start with. She's put all of her business and more out there.
Yeah, man. Because basically the show basically appeared during COVID when nothing else was going on, so you had to figure out a way to try to make some money.
Yeah,
and then she says all this stuff on it, because I haven't watched it, I haven't seen it, I've just seen excerpts like you. But from the stuff, because she's always trying to reach the edge so that she will get the notoriety. And when I saw her on there talking all of this stuff with her mama and her daughter, and I'm like, oh Lord, no! If you're gonna do that kind of thing, you're gonna do that with your mom.
Yeah.
And your daughter sitting there, but then you want to be such a lady. And I'm like, no, man, this don't even add up. And that little girl, ooh, well, I ain't gonna talk about nobody's kid, but she, ooh. And the boy too, as far as I'm concerned, but they need to get their house in order.
Well, yeah, I say the same thing. It needs to start at home. And once again, I know they're in the public light and they got their own deal that they're dealing with, and I don't know how much of that is just to get notoriety and to be seen and to be in the headlines. I mean, I think when you're in that Hollywood set kind of thing, you do stuff just to stay in people's minds, and whether it's stupid stuff or don't make sense or whatever. Hey, we hadn't been in the headlines in a month or so. Well, let's go and say this, or let's go and do this, or let's that kind of thing. I think some of that stuff is, like you say, it's for shock value, to keep the name in the public the
That's
public
right.
domain, you know.
Well, they're drunk with it. They're drunk with the fame and with the notoriety because uh, just looking at it from my point of view is that this boy done made $20 million per movie for the last 10 years, so it can't be about money.
No, you wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so. It can't be about that. And so, what else is it? You want to stay relevant, and you want once you get that, once the light comes on, you get used to it, and you get drunk with it, and you want it all the time. And like I said, she came up with this concept, I guess, for this show. Well, ain't nobody been knocking on the door for Jada Pinkett to be in those movies and stuff. After she did that one with Queen Latifah and them, and well, she did the one, yeah, that was cool. She was in that the Girls Trip. There ain't nothing that I know of that she's been doing. She was in that. I guess it was life. What do they say? Imitating life. Anyway, what you're doing is imitating your life because in Girls Trip, she meets this young girl who knocks her socks off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you never seen it?
I've never. The girls have told me about it. And they've seen it. They've gone to see it. I've never watched it.
I watched it, man. That damn Tiffany Haddish, which is
I was gonna
another
say that's the one
story.
with Tiffany Haddish in it. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
She was funny as hell. But she getting on my damn nerves now though. But yeah, Jada played she was getting a divorce and she meets this young boy, and of course they all get a chance to see him naked and all that, like, you know, it's like the woo factor. Woo. So I guess August supplied the woo factor for him.
I guess so.
Art
guess.
imitating life. That's what I was trying to think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she had her, whatever you call it. What is it? Just say affair. Hell.
Yeah. What word that they kept using was it entanglement?
Entanglement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is an entanglement? Were y'all on a vine or something? I mean, what's the entanglement? Yeah.
Or you jumped off the yacht and got caught up in a web or something? You know, it's a joke, man. It's entanglement.
But like I said, I'd heard rumors years ago. Of course, I mean, rumors about that I hear ain't worth nothing. But I'd heard rumors a year they had a very open marriage and stuff. And I just when I heard about that when that came out, I thought about it. I'm like, well, I don't see this being something that, you know, her and Will were on a sabbatical or whatever, and she, you know, the next day she all of a sudden got with this dude. To me, this is probably something that's been out there for a bit. You know,
oh, no doubt.
You know, I don't think it was just one of all of a sudden of all the people in the world, I'm gonna get with him because me and Will are taking a break or whatever they were doing. Some tell me that they obviously had been together already.
Well, the groundwork had to have been laid already.
Already, yeah.
You know, you break up or split up this week, and next week you in an entanglement.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, it's something else. But I, you know, again, this is what we do. People get so caught up in this fairy tale life. I mean, it's just like it bothers me every time I hear this. I know the intent is good, but when I hear these people on talking about certain individuals like Jada and Will, black love, as if it is something existentially holy and better, and they're just people like the rest of us.
Like the rest of us, yep.
You know, there ain't nothing. You know, that they doing is just, oh, that's black love. Hell. And then always get let down. Oh, I hated to hear that. Hell, you put all this pressure and all this other stuff on these folks. They ain't no better than the next man, the trash man and his wife. You know, two people trying to get along. Just because they got money don't mean that they're a cut above. But we always hollering about black love. Oh, I never thought they would break up. Yeah, because you never thought. These people ain't nothing. They have the same problems that we have. They just might have more money.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. You
Mhm.
know, just because they're superstars, just because they're sports stars, movie stars, music stars, whatever it may be, they're
Mhm.
still, like you said, they're still human beings.
That's right.
You know, they make mistakes. They do. I think sometimes, they have an opportunity to sort of exaggerate things more than
Exactly.
common people just because they are in the limelight and stuff. But
And
yeah,
they
they're
play
no
into
different than
it.
anybody else.
Yeah, they play into it too.
Yeah.
They do all that. But see, what's totally unrealistic, and that's why they living in a dream world. Hey, when Jada, like I've heard all this about, man, how could anybody not want to cheat on such and such? I said, well, you ain't woke up with her when she got bad breath and ain't got no makeup on. Shit, she just like the rest of the women, and the men too. I mean, not taking anything away from them. I said, oh, when you see her, she's made up like a Barbie doll. That's like, man, how can anybody mess around on her? Well, very easily, you know, and it's just totally unrealistic, and it just trips me out how people play into that, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I'm gonna tell you, Rodney. I said exactly that
mhm.
when it came out about Jay Z. I'm like, why would anybody want to cheat on Bouncy?
Hey,
You know,
yeah,
come
yeah,
on now.
yeah.
I said those exact same words.
Hmm.
Why would anybody even look at another woman? You got Beyonce, but
Hmm.
like you say, we're human.
That's right, and you know, I mean, that's almost like saying, "Well, I drive a Mercedes. Why would I want to drive anything else?" Well, there's a Maserati over there, and then
Yeah, and
and,
I guess you could also use the analogy. Well, I got one Mercedes, but I can get a couple of Hyundais for
yes, sir,
for what I'm getting on that Mercedes. So yeah,
man.
I guess if you think about it
Yep.
that way, but yeah, I said the exact same thing. Why?
Hmm.
How could he cheat on Beyonce?
You know when that honeymoon period is over, boy. Because there's some Mercedes out there that really ain't a Mercedes, but they sure look like it, boy.
Well, it just makes you wonder if it was something like that, or just that's just how he is, or that's just the situation when you get to those kind of, you
Mhm.
know, big stars and things of that nature. It just makes you wonder. At least me, I'm just like, well, what would entice you to step out when you've got somebody like that? Like you say, is it when she's all made up and stuff, she's fine. But I know right after they got married, I know one thing he said he I guess was sort of complaining about was I guess she's very junky. And
Mhm.
she'd go out and shop and throw the bags in the floor and all this kind of thing. I know that I read a little article
Oh, I
about
can
that,
s- I can
but
see
I'm
that.
like, uh, what would make you even do that? But I don't know if that's just the nature. That's just the temptation comes on, and you just go for it. It just makes you wonder sometimes.
Well, and then when you're on that level though too, then it gets to a point to where, yeah, this might not be what I want, but we're a good uh, business together. So a lot of these folks stay together just for the business, But
Well, yeah, yeah.
it's even whether you have money or you don't have money, as you well know, when you're in a long relationship, man, it ebbs and flows. But it starts out with a genuine love for one another, in my opinion, and then you either grow together or you don't. So uh, they ain't no different than we are. We ain't got no money, but we have the same pitfalls.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I say, we all are human,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
just the way things are. Theirs is just in a much bigger stage than most people's,
yeah,
when you
yeah.
have those kind of
And
situations. But
then people want to put their values on you. You know, oh, they'll stay together forever. Well, you've been married 5 times. What happened? Why couldn't you do it? You're gonna put that
hmm
pressure on somebody else, you know, and but they don't. Well, we just tend to do that, and not just we. All people do. It amazes me when I'm looking on my Vine and I see people. Oh, we thought they would never break up. Well, why would you think that? You know, and like the careers that we chose. you know, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm sure a lot of people stayed together because they were apart so much.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure. And even when I first came out, I know this couple got married. At the time, they said they were only getting married to get BAS and
Yeah,
BAQ.
yeah.
They wasn't doing it. They just got married. Well, as
Business.
far as I know, they're still married today.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. It
Mm-hmm.
was more than just the BAS and BAQ, because that was sort of a big deal when I first came in. I mean, I
Oh
didn't quite
yeah.
understand it, because I mean, I was in the dorm. I was like, well, oh yeah, man, you get BAS and BAQ if you're married, and we're gonna get married just so we can. They didn't want to be in the dorms, and they
Exactly.
didn't like that
Yeah.
dorm life, so they wanted to get off base. So that's what they did. But like I say, they stayed married, and because that was 50 years ago. I don't know if they are
Mm-hmm.
still married, but it wasn't like they you would go out, you would see him one place and her another. Every time we'd have functions and things, they were always together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a husband and wife.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are situations that come up, and I think there's probably people who might be, sort of like Teflon. Like I look at Denzel and his wife, and you know, I'm not going to say that there's never been any infidelity there, but
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes you almost get to that point to where if somebody throws something out there, people are going to say, well, they're just trying to get a news story going, kind of thing. But they seem like they've, for the most part, have avoided those kind of things in their marriage, for all
Mm-hmm.
these years.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And again, when you got two people with the same goal and the same, that's what they want to do. But uh, you just, I mean, there ain't no book you can write about it. It's just you get with the right person. You have some of the right same values, and you grow together. And certain things get to be, it's like a lot of people, they get together for the sex. And then when the sex wears off, they find out they don't even like each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You hear about that kind of stuff all the time, and just like we were talking about, your attitudes on things get change as you get older and you mature and things of that nature. I think sometimes that happens in marriage. When you
Yeah.
were together, when you were younger, you were sort of on that same page. You both had the same goals and ideas and beliefs or whatever, and then things change over the years.
Yeah.
I've heard people say, we grew apart. The
Right.
things that I really enjoyed doing at this phase of our marriage, she didn't enjoy doing anymore, and we were sort of going our separate ways and to sort of make each other happy, and we decided it was time just to, call it quits.
Hmm. Well, just even on the celebrity tip that we were just talking, I've always said, when people say, "Well, man, how could he do that with her?" and this and that and this and that, from the outside, we always think, "Oh, they got a perfect marriage."
Yeah.
No, that ain't the case. But just like I always say, and it's always, pointed towards the men. Women do it too, but they always want to talk because you can say they broke up. Well, what did he do?
Mhm.
Well, hell,
Mhm.
what did she do? You know, but like I've always told people, man, I'm like, I don't care who you are. If you got fine ass women throwing themselves at you every day, like these athletes and these actors and all those kind of people. I mean, somebody's always coming at you. You see Steph Curry playing basketball, girl making goo goo eyes. They catch it on camera.
Right. Right.
I said, he's only a man. And I said, the Pope, if he got that many goo goo gaga looking eyes at him, hell, he'd jump off the wagon. I mean, for every, you get no credit for them 5,000 no's that you do. Nah, 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 nah. But do it one time and you're a heretic. But I mean, I mean, it's just a fact, man. These dudes out there, you be good, be good, be good. But I tell you, I it could be easily to fall off the wagon. And then I always say this about the women. We talk about the sisterhood. These brothers ain't messing up by themselves.
Nope. As they say, it takes two to tango.
I'm
You know,
telling
so.
you.
But
Yeah.
it's funny you say we were actually talking about that the night. Me and Marion and Tamara, Tara and David had gone to St. Louis, so we went out to be Tamara and Marion went out to dinner together. We were talking about a situation that I can't bring up on the recording,
I
but
hear you.
anyway,
I hear you.
we were talking about that situation, and it was about somebody that was cheating and everything, uh, and Tamara told Mary, said, "Mom, you ain't got to never worry about Dad cheating." And and Mary said, "What do you mean by that?" Because you know how Dad is. Before he would ever cheat, he got to check out the income, how much they got in the bank, do they own their own house. And he said he ain't gonna find nobody like that because she said my dad is not gonna go out there and cheat with somebody who's broke and broke down and ain't got a dime. And Marion said, and you better believe it too, because he knows I'm the kind of person I'm gonna get my part. I'm gonna want the same lifestyle I've always had. And I told her, I said, yeah,
Yeah.
you can have the same lifestyle you had when I married you as a staff sergeant. You can have that. You can have that same. She said,
That's it.
yeah, you trying to be funny. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna have the same lifestyle. I'm gonna get
Yep.
whatever I can get, and he knows that too. And I said, well, damn, between the two of y'all, those scenarios, I guess I probably would never cheat because to find somebody who's got enough to replace what I would lose if I did, and knowing I got to take care of marrying the way I said, yeah, you're probably right. There's just
Hey.
not that much money and situations are probably out there. But yeah, I said, I guess my daughter and my wife know me too well.
Hey, man. Hey, when you work hard for what you got, you ain't trying to minimize that, man.
That's what I said.
You know?
But yeah, man, that ain't gonna go with nobody. He had to check out the bank account and everything else before he
Hey,
would even think about it. And I
you
said,
better
yeah,
know it.
you right. If it came down to that, I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do for me for what I'm gonna
Hmm.
be losing?
Hmm. I'm telling you. Yeah, yeah, no, man, it ain't. Hey, that old song. Well, it's really. Well, I know it offends women, but it's cheaper to keep her. It's
Mm.
real.
Yeah.
And hope she still wants your old crusty behind. You know.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I say, at this point in your life, you're looking like, well, damn, you taking somebody in that probably in a couple of years you got to be taken care of,
Yes,
so,
sir.
so
Yes, sir.
so no, like I say, it's just one of those things, I just say, it don't keep you from looking, it don't keep you from just thinking to yourself, I wonder what.
Yep.
But
Yep.
shit, that's a whole lot different than making that step. You step over that line. No, I ain't found nothing to make me want to step over that line yet.
And then 6 months after that, she gonna turn into.
Yeah,
Oh no, I don't need to go through this again.
yeah.
You know.
And then where you end up back home. Hey baby, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can I come back home, please? Yeah.
And hope she don't say, "Well, your spot's been taken." Well, I'm getting them old blues on that. This ain't your home no more. Love don't live here no more.
Oh man.
So yeah,
Yeah,
boy,
buddy.
it's a
That's true. Like you say, there's one of them scenarios where you look at the pros and the cons, and there's a whole hell of a lot more cons than there are pros.
yes indeed. Shit, you better be happy with the decision you made and go on with it. Cause I tell you what, that's just a whole new set of problems you want to start there.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. It's a whole nother set of problems.
Yeah, especially you get one. Well, my son needs some help. I didn't marry your son.
Hmm.
Shit, the hell with that. I done been through that, and the only one I'm going through it with it now is mine.
That's right.
Dang,
That's right. That's
with
for
that now.
sure.
Hmm. So, and a lot of these people now got agendas, boy. You done been scoped out. Just like, just like Tamara was saying, you gonna check them out. They done already checked you out.
Checked
That's
you
why.
out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they done checked you out. They know your whole history. Cause if they know how to do it,
Yeah, yeah. The brother shouldn't have slapped him like that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And Beyonce, Yeah, I guess if you find something you'd rather be with, you do that kind of thing. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School. Join us the next time. Peace.